Hello, we are here again to continue the series on how to price preliminary items. And today we're going to be taking the item 8 on the list, having accomplished 1 to 7. And if this is my first video you're seeing and you want to understand how the first 7 items were treated, you can visit my webpage, www.youtube.com/at quantity surveying made easy underscore 2014 to get this video on all of these 7 items. Today we're going to be taking, just as I said, we're going to be treating welfare and safety, which is the 8th item. Welfare and safety is an important component during construction. Safety ought to be taken seriously on every project because any mistake done either will cause bodily harm to persons working on the project or even leading to death. And as a project manager, it will be unheard of when somebody dies on your project as a result of negligence, because adequate safety was not provided during the course of construction. So this is an item that you have to be methodical when pricing it to make sure that you capture every angle, everything that is necessarily needed to make that project a safe environment for work. Having said this, we go straight to the sheet proper where analysis. I've done some analysis on how I came up with the figure 19 million. I divided the safety component into two, where I have one as individual safety and the next as collective safety. The individual safety has to do with individuals, those gears provided for individuals to ensure that they are safe during the course of their work on the site, while the collective safety is safety provided for everybody working within the site. You ask, what is this collective safety all about? You see those barriers that are fixed along balconies, that the handrails are not yet provided because construction is still going on. They are collective, they fall within collective safety. You see those temporal handrails that are fixed on staircases that are within the one specified on the bill. They are collective safety. You see they fall within collective safety. You see the warning tape that is put around pits to caution people to not to fall inside the pit. They fall within collective safety. You see those barriers they put on the scaffold to prevent somebody from falling off, the platform they put on the scaffold to prevent people from falling off. It falls within collective safety. The signages they put on site to ensure that you know where to pass and how to navigate your way on site, they fall within collective safety. Having said this, I will be using an hypothetical figure to illustrate this aspect of the preliminaries, not as if these figures cannot be gotten. For the senior management staff, the indirect staffs, already those ones, we were able to establish that on our organogram. But the direct workers, the direct work, for you to get the workers that will do the direct works, it has to be from the quantum of work that you are expected to do on the project. Each of the items, say you have excavation, 30 cubic meter of excavation, you have concrete 500 cubic meter, you have reinforcement, say 30 tons to do. You have form work, 500 square meter. You have, you name it, every item. So, but because you have this, and over time, see, in a particular region, you will be able to establish the capacity of the workforce in that area. That will enable you to now determine what their output can be. And if you can determine what the output can be, it will help you calculate the number of workers you needed to do the work that is provided in the bill. I give an instance with concrete work. Say in the bill you have a 1,000 cubic meter of concrete, and over time you've been able to establish that within this region, the masons and the labor there, the maximum they can cast for an hour, say it is 2 cubic meter. Then now, and you're expected to do, say, a 500 cubic meter per month. And now you know that the working hour per day is 8 hours. So for you now to know what their output is for one full day, which is 8 hours, it is 8 hours divided by 2. It gives you 4 cubic meter. Since you've been able to establish that the output for the gang of masons is 4 cubic meter, that will enable you know how many masons you needed to cast the 500 cubic meter of concrete in 1 month. Then if it is 1 year project, you know where the concrete work will stop. You know how many people you can calculate how many masons you need on site within this period that will do this job. The same thing goes for iron work, form work. You know how many square meter these guys can do in an hour, or say they can do 1 square meter, both the shoring, the brazing, and all of that for one. They can do, say, 5 square meter in 1 hour. Then you now multiply 5 square meter by 8, tells you what their capacity they can do within the 8 hours that is their working time for the day. So having understood this logic, then you will now see the formula I kept on the far right here, that says labor requirement per month is equals to quantity of work to be done for the month divided by work done per hour multiplied by hours work per day. So you can now do this too. So, but for the purpose of, since we are not dealing with a bill that has quantity here, we are dealing with we are treating preliminary items. Let's assume that we've been able to prepare our labor forecast, prepare our labor forecast from an hypothetical bill, and the total number we need within this 1 year period of this job is 350. Then already, as I said, from our organogram that we use to price the indirect cost, we have about 56 workers for the indirect staff, including the management staff, the engineers, and the other junior staffs that falls within the indirect staffs. Then you make provision for visitors, of course, who come to site. So either do one thing or the other. Junior, I made provision for 5. Then senior, I made provision. Management, I made provision for 12. So the total number of workers that will work within that site is 423. Then the list here are the basic safety protective gears that is needed for a site. And this, now we are dealing with the individual safeties. As you can see, I have coverall. Overalls are meant for those workers directly involved in the activities on site, say the masons, the carpenter, the iron benders, and all. If that is the requirement on the project, that they must wear overall, and because it is a clothes material, it wears off. It wear or something you're wearing every day, and there is sweat, the person is sweating every day. The tendency for it to wear up very fast is there. So you must make provision for change, for replacement. So I now said, okay, I have, say, 350 workers that will be on site, and they are going to be given 2 units within this 1 year period. If they are given 2 units within 1 year period, it will be 700 numbers of overall I needed to sew at 5,000. I have this amount. The reflective jacket for junior, by the time you add junior, the junior staffs, that is the direct workers and their visitors, you're going to have 555, and they're going to get two within the 1 year period. The total number is 710 at 2,000. The reflective for senior staff, management staff, and their visitor is going to be 68. 68 is the submission of the senior management and the visitor. You have, and they are going to get two as well, 136 at 3,000. The helmet, of course, is uniform. You can see it's 423, 423 here, and at 3,500, you're going to get, this is the figure. Then the junior safety shoes is 350. It's 350 multiplied by 5,000 give you this. The senior and management is 7,500. Then the rain boot and raincoat. Since it is a 1 year project, and we have one rainy season in a year, you needed to provide a rain boot and a raincoat for them to come to work during, even if there is rainfall. And sometimes if the rain is mild on site, they can as well wear it to do some sketchy job. So you make provision for one each, because it is about, if it is a 2 years project, because they are going to meet, they are going to have two rainy season within that year, you have to provide for two. If it is a 3 year project, you have to provide for three. Then safety harness, which is safety belt for people working on height. That is based on your experience on site and the previous job you've done, how many was used, how many, usually the safety harness doesn't get spoiled easily. So you can just use the experience you have in your previous site to know how many that you need on this site. If it is slightly larger than the site you have done in the past, you make more provision. If it is less, you make lesser provision than what was used. Then the hand gloves. The hand gloves are not everybody that is on this on the junior staff that will need the hand gloves. So you look at those that will need it, say the hand iron benders, the carpenters, the form workers. Those are the people, and sometimes some cleaners that are working where the chemical area. So you extrapolate from the 350 to say, okay, out of this 350, I will make provision for 250 numbers of people that are entitled to hand gloves. You may ask why suddenly I have period 1 year here, now I'm changing to months. I'm changing to month because I'm expected to give them every month. They're supposed to get two hand gloves because the hand glove gets damaged easily. They cannot use one hand glove all through the month. So now, and I made provision for 10 months, two numbers for 250 persons. The same thing for nose masks, 2 and 10 months. Then chemical nose masks, which is not for everybody. It is for only those people dedicated to work within the chemical, which can be returned back for others to use. Then the chemical refill, the filter, that once it's dirty, you needed to remove it and replace. I bought 300 pieces of it. Then chemical hand glove as well. The same I treated. Then the air muffle for noisy areas and all of that. I bought 60. Then collective safety, though not exhaustive. This list is not exhaustive. The access control badge and signages, those are the signages that you place at different locations to help you navigate your way on site. Those are for collective safety. Then wooden barriers and poles, those ones you put along the edges of suspended slabs, along the stair hall, anywhere you know that somebody is walking on height, I needed to have a guide behind him. This one and I made provision of 12 months that I'm going to be spending 200,000 per month, because these are things that, because they are wooden barriers, they can easily get spoiled, and if you not keep them properly, you can get damaged. So I made a budget that every month I'm going to be spending 200. If I don't spend the 200, it is, and eventually if I get the job, I am going to make savings that is going to improve my profit margin in the end. So you make some sizable assumption based on your experience from previous site or the datas. If you're an estimator on site, you're an estimator in a construction company. At the end of every project, there is a report that is written on the encounter on that site and to help you value better. So you keep those reports. You can always make reference to it to know what was done and all of that, so that you can improve on the jobs you've done in the past. Then the warning tape, these are tapes you put in a place where there is danger, so that it shows them that it is no-go area. Then the wooden platform, as you can see, it is in cubic meter. It is in cubic meter, not in pieces. The 2 inches by 12 by 12. This ones you put on scaffold for people to walk freely on it. I have 100 cubic meter at 45,000, 4.5. Then refuse bin, which we know is an important aspect, that if the site is not properly kept, there is no good housekeeping, tendency for people to get hot, sleep over woods, short piece of wood, or nails piercing into your legs are there. So you need to make sure this refuge are disposed. And I made provision of 46,000 for 12 months and 9 times in a month. 9 times they needed to evacuate. Why? The duration is for 12 months, gives 4 days. And this now gives you the amount for the collective safety. You sum them together, you have 32,360,000. Then for project information, the signboard you put along the road to that gives the information about the project. That one, after getting the design, you give it to a specialist. The specialist will estimate to tell you, okay, it's going to cost you so amount to buy the plate, the steel, and everything to weld and fabricate it, and paint, and equally write the information, and if possible, a model of what you are going to build will be engraved on it, and you mount. So this, you don't need to waste your time calculating it. It's just you getting somebody, after getting a sketch of what you want it to look like, you pass it to, say, a fabricator. He gives you the price, you put it there, and that is why I have a 1 million on it. It's not as if you cannot price it. If you know the kind of materials, the kind of sizes of pipes that they needed to, you know what the cost is, you know the height, you know the plate, what thickness of plate. You, as an estimator, you should be able to estimate everything. Electrode, how many pieces of electrode you can use to weld this and all of that. You need to know how many grinding discs, how many cutting discs you need, and all. You can estimate this to know what the price. What the only thing you cannot estimate is the printer that will engrave and all of that. That is a specialist work. He needed to do that and tell you what it's going to cost you and all. So after this, we now go to the first summary sheet to link our safety safety costs. I'll just quickly just quickly okay, I'll just quickly copy it from here so that it will look the same. Welfare and safety. Then we now link what our cost is, 32, then by this. So it's going to cost us, our direct cost without profit margin is going to be 32, while our selling will be 43. Then we have the signboard, which since I've taken the opportunity to treat the signboard, I'll just copy the signboard, put it somewhere far, since there are other items that we need to treat before we get to signboard. I'll just copy it, copy this amount, sorry, link this. So you see we are making progress. Then we come to the sheet here. We link the signboard. Now go to welfare, and this we link the selling. So we are able to finish the welfare and safety. The next, we've treated the hurdles and barrier in safety. So there'll be no need to discuss this again. Hurdles and barriers in safety, there's no need to discuss this. So I hope I've been able to educate us on how to measure welfare and safety and the signboard. So for any query, you can hit my page, like it, send me a question, send me whatever worries that you may have, and I'll be available to answer you. Thank you for watching.